Hello and welcome to Alex's Guitar Lounge. Thought I'd shoot another video featuring this beast, the ML3 Bea from Chapman Guitars. Mainly because I've had this guitar for just over 6 months now. It was the guitar that I featured in my first YouTube channel video, and I thought I'd basically do a little revisit of it, just to let you guys know, how this guitar has performed over the last 6 months, just in case people are still having an hour about whether they want to invest in one of these. Hopefully having it for a little while and the experiences I've had might be useful for some of you out there. There's a couple of things that I've come to really love about this guitar, but there's also some things that I've noticed during the 6 months that I want to talk about as well. First of all, I've been using this guitar mainly as a gigging guitar and a bit of studio work with it as well. It's performed really well in both areas. I'll reiterate the fact that this is still an amazing sounding and playing guitar for the money. In particular, the things that I've really found useful about it, which I've never had on a guitar before, for live shows, is the glow in the dark side dots on these guitars. It seems like a really simple thing, yet many guitar manufacturers don't adopt that. But it's been invaluable on dark stages. I never realised how useful that could be. Certainly the pickup configuration that Chapman have done with this guitar is second to none. I've just loved the sound of both the neck and the bridge pickups for all kinds of genre of music as well. I know, Rabea Massad's quite a heavy guitar player in terms of style of music he plays, but this guitar really has held its own in every genre of music, and I've kind of done some blues gigs, some kind of funky gigs, some rock and roll gigs, and it's held its own in every single one of them. And the tones you can get out of this, it's really versatile. I particularly love this neck pickup. It just has that really smooth kind of Strat-like sound, and then you have the ability to totally change things up by going to this bridge, which just screams when it's on a decent gained amp channel. So love the tones of it. A couple of things that I found slightly difficult when I first got this that took a little time to get used to. The neck profile on this guitar, which a few people have kind of commented to me about on the original YouTube channel I did about the neck, and is it an easy playing neck? Straight away I struggled with it probably for the first sort of month or so of playing it. It is a chunky neck. I'm used to playing kind of Ibanez style thin streamlined necks that you can kind of fly up and down with nice and easily. This one you do have to take a bit of time to get used to the radius of it. It's kind of airing towards the Les Paul SG style radius, so it has got a bit of a chunk to it, and my palms were kind of aching after playing it for the first few weeks. But you will adjust. If you're one of these players that really doesn't like Les Paul style necks and anything that's really chunky, and you want to have an Ibanez Gem, wizard neck, and you don't like anything else, then this guitar might not be the one for you, because it does take a little bit of use to, in terms of getting your hand around it. The rolled fretboard edges on here do help, because it does feel a little bit smoother to play, and the way that the finish has been applied on the back of the neck, it's really smooth, nice kind of open pore finish, and it does kind of help in terms of its playability. The neck, however, I've never had a guitar with a Padauk neck. I think it's quite a soft wood. The reason I say that, I think I had a bit of an issue with the tuning stability of it when I first got it, and still kind of to this day. I think the wood is still settling down from when it's been cut and produced in the factory. I think that it gets affected by climate a little bit. Obviously this is made in the sort of Far East, and it's come over to me in the UK, and I think there's still a bit of moisture left in this neck because there's a bit of movement in it. You can tell just by the fact that if you put one finger on the headstock and just slightly pull on it, there is a lot of kind of sharp and detuning you can do with this neck. So it's quite fragile. I don't know whether it's also to do with the join, but it is kind of a bolt-on neck, so there shouldn't be much play around here. So I think it is just the wood type. When I put it down one day and picked it up the next, it has gone out of tune. Sometimes it's sharpened in tuning, sometimes it's detuned. It's getting better and better. What I've done, because I don't particularly use the tremolo very often in my playing, I've put a tremolo system in the back, if you can see that. If you don't know what a tremolo is, basically gives you the ability to lock the bridge or put it into a downward motion only bridge or a dive bomb only mode, or put it back to full floating if you need it. But because I've played this primarily in drop C, I've basically just locked it down just to try and give me a little bit more stability in terms of low tunings. So that might be something to consider if you're having the same issue if you bought this guitar and you're struggling with that. I wasn't quite sure what it was. I wasn't sure if it was the bridge, which is why I bought the tremolo to lock that off to see what was causing the tuning issues. I kind of greased the nut to see whether it was getting caught, if any of the strings were getting caught in there. Didn't seem to be that. Hipshot locking tuners don't tend to go wrong in terms of their tuning stability. They hold the strings pretty well. So I thought it must be the neck, and as I said, the fact that you can get quite a bit of play out of it by just pulling back on the headstock, I think shows that this wood takes a little while to strengthen up slightly. But shouldn't put you off. It's still a really nice playing and sounding guitar. A couple of other points. The Wilkinson tremolo they put on here, if you might find that you need to do a trick with putting a bit of tape around the tremolo arm for it to sit in this socket properly. There doesn't seem to be a way to tighten the socket on this guitar bridge, and if you're playing around with the tremolo, you'll find that there's quite a bit of movement in that tremolo arm, which can be a little bit off-putting. I know when I kind of did a little bit of movement on stage, occasionally the tremolo arm just fell out, so not great. And the other thing that I noticed, which is a bit more of a small, minor attention to detail, cosmetic thing, but the knobs I quite like on this guitar. However, I don't know if you can see, but they basically stand about 2 plectrum widths away from the body of the guitar, to the point where you can see the bolt that's holding the tone and volume pots onto the body of the guitar, which just looks a little bit rubbish, if I'm honest. I'd like it if it was sitting flush with the body, so you couldn't see any of the tone pot and volume pot underneath. But you can't push the pots down any further; they just won't go. So I might change that in the future just to suit my own pleasing. But as I said, that's a minor detail. At the end of the day, as I said, it's still a great playing, great sounding guitar, and that's what you want out of a guitar, really. So if you are in two minds, what I would say is, make sure if you can, to play the guitar first, just because of this neck. The neck is the biggest thing for me that is the point to kind of overcome if you're not used to playing necks with a little bit of girth on the profile, as it were. However, if you're a Les Paul player, you'll come to this straight away and love it. But what I thought I'd do is just show you a few of my favourite patches that I've been getting out of my Boss Katana amp as well, just so you can hear a little bit more from this guitar. So I'm just going to run through a couple of those and see what you guys think to the sound, and hopefully be shooting some more videos on the channel soon. So keep checking back for those. Feel free to like, share, subscribe and comment your thoughts on this guitar still. Hope to catch you on the next one. Bye for now.